I think one thing that conservatives and liberals both miss about abortion, it's a hot topic, of course, because it's an emotional subject. I get it. But the one thing they don't understand is, like, when you talk about pro-choice, almost nobody has a choice about anything until you make about $50,000 a year. Like, if you don't like the job you have, well, that's too bad. You got to go tomorrow. You don't like the house you live in or the apartment you live in, well, that's too bad. You can't afford anything else. It took you everything you had to get that one. Don't like your car, you can't upgrade. You don't have the money. So getting pregnant is just like everything else. You don't have a real choice in it unless you actually have the money to carry that pregnancy to term. And a lot of people don't have that. They don't have supportive partners. They don't have a resource system of people network that would help them out, child care, the whole thing. They don't have that. They don't have it. So one thing that both sides really miss is that it's about poverty. I think it was something like 70% of abortions happen because of poverty. So whenever people are like, oh, I'm against abortion, well, sometimes even the person getting an abortion is against abortion. That's the irony of it. Your ideology takes a backseat to necessity a lot of times. I've heard of people who absolutely are opposed to abortion sitting in an abortion clinic because they didn't have any choice. They didn't have a choice. Now, what I'd really like to see is someone who actually had the means to make a real choice whether or not to carry that pregnancy to term, whether they did or didn't, would be an actual decision. Like, hey, I want to, or no, I don't. Not can I afford to, can I not afford to. Those are usually the hard choices women make that are in a bind that they didn't really foresee. And we can sit and judge if we want, but it's not going to change anything. The fact is, you're pregnant and you don't have the means to be pregnant. Because being pregnant also is resource intensive. Just before the baby is born, you have to do all this prenatal things and all this stuff, right? You have to prepare and there's a lot to go into it. And if you just don't have the money for that, like, you just don't. So that's what I wanted to talk about. A lot of times when you're poor, a lot of things are not a choice anyway. Like, you already didn't have a choice about 90% of the things in your life. So, let's at least focus on that as well. It's not just like, oh, should we or shouldn't we? We should end poverty. So people would actually have a choice about whether they want to have a baby or they don't.